Welcome back, everybody. We are here to talk about the brand new episode called Blunt Knife in the Shibuya arc from Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. Real quick before I get into it, I saw Dumb Money this week as well. Great movie. Go see Dumb Money. I really enjoyed it. It's about the GameStop stock and all that stuff that happened, and I learned some stuff. It was pretty cool. I like it. I put it up there with like The Big Short, probably. I really enjoyed it. But anyways, we're getting right into the episode because we have a lot to talk about today, baby. So last week we had Seance, we had Granny, seancing Toji back into the living world and Ino getting the crap beat out of him because of it. We had Yuji and Megumi beating up basically Hannibal Lecter as a curse user. And this week we pick up right where we left off, but we see Nanami discovering Ichichi's body. And he's bleeding, possibly not dead, as we find out later in the episode. Yes, spoilers ahead, guys. I guess I should have said that before, but there is giant writing right at the bottom of this. You guys know it's always spoilers in here. And as he's staring at Ichichi, like, seeing this tiny flash of Haibara, and it's just like, oh my gosh, the stuff that all of our characters, and Nanami obviously is who we're focused on now, but all of our characters have just gone through so much, and being a cursed sorcerer is a tough life. And they say it like in the second episode, the principal tells Yuji that, and I feel like we just, like, no, this is an anime. We're gonna win the day. It's like, no. This is something different about Jujutsu Kaisen as a very rookie anime watcher that seems to like not follow the usual rules of anime. But man, these sorcerers live tough lives. My cat is currently looking at me like she's crazy. But after we go into that, we go into the credits, and there's something I want to talk about the credits when we get to it. And of course, we go back to Mei, and she's already beaten the dog curse user, and we don't get to see it, which is so unfortunate. But he's already like lost a leg, and he's begging for his life and can't do anything. And Mei talks about how her only technique was that she used to be able to just manipulate crows, like where she's done like basically like her intelligence gathering thing. But now she's become a lot stronger. She unlocked a new technique. We don't know what that technique is. There's a lot of uses of like, we're discovering like the whole technique thing really recently about how everything involves a technique. It's very much, it's kind of like every other, shonen. I was thinking of that word. There's like Sojin, shonen anime. My Hero has quirks. Hunter x Hunter had Nen abilities, kind of that certain thing. And in this, it's a technique. It's a curse technique. And so we're starting to learn a lot more about them. We learned Ino's, we learned all about Gojo's and Geto's in, premature death. So a lot of information coming at us. And we don't learn Mei's new technique or what unlocked her to be a grade 1 sorcerer. And again, in the same way that I underestimated Gojo's strength, where like how far above he is everybody, literally everybody, I'm starting to underestimate like grade 1 sorcerers. I know, we've seen Nanami fight. We haven't really seen Mei fight. We've seen Toto, fight a little bit. But just like grade 1s are not to be trifled with. I feel like, everyone wants to be a special grade. Everyone, obviously Gojo is the man. Geto was very strong before he died. We've seen Akatsu as well. But grade 1s are grade 1s for a reason. Like they are above a grade 1 curse as well. Like grade 1s can take on special grades, but I don't know if grade 1s can do domain expansions. I think only special grades can. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but like I know Nanami says when Mahito gets him in his domain, he's like, it's the one technique I could never aspire to do. But I don't know if that's just Nanami. I don't know if that's just him, and I don't know if Mei Mei can do it, but it doesn't seem like she can by the end of this episode either. So maybe domain expansion is only a special great thing, whether you're a curse or a sorcerer. But it goes to her, and then she obviously, like, she's pretty cold about it, where the guy's like, oh, spare me, and she's like, so how do you value life? He's like, what? It's like, well, I value life by how much, like, I think she says the words assets, but basically, like, how much money you have is how much value you have in this world. And it's like, that's tough. But man, when she's walking down the tunnel, her hips be swinging. I love Mei Mei so much. The brother stuff, still weird, still so weird, but she's still a slamming hottie. And I can't wait to see, like, with where her story ends in this. We are finally gonna get to see, I hope so. And I'll just go to her because, like, it jumps around to, like, different POVs, but I'll finish Mei Mei's storyline right now. She kills the curse user. She runs into Geto, and she's like, hey, she doesn't. I love Mei Mei's deductive reasoning as to why she's like, so Geto's alive. Like, did Gojo mess up? Are they in this together? And then I love that her mind deduces, she's like, no, if Gojo wanted to kill everybody, he just would. Like, he has that kind of power. Like, literally nothing could stop Gojo from killing everyone. He wouldn't need, like, all this cloak and dagger stuff, all these traps, all these other curses. Like, he wouldn't need any of that. He would just do it. So Gojo's not in on it with him, but she thinks it's a copy. But then Geto just whips out, what is the name of this? It's like smallpox deity, a special grade curse. I thought special grade curses were special. In season 1, we're getting a lot of special grade curses, and even against Yuta in Zero, he whips out, the lady's special grade curse. She's got a name, I can't remember what it was. And then even against Toji, he whips out, like, a semi-special grade that can do, like, a simple domain against Toji, and he gets beat. Like, I don't know how many special grade curses there are, but dang. And then, so she doesn't know that that's not Geto, because she thinks it might not be, but then, like, he obviously used curse manipulation, so it's like, oh, maybe it is Geto. But she doesn't know that it's, like, the Krang in his brain controlling Geto's body with his, able to use his technique and stuff. But after that, immediately, now I know, I guess because, like, Geto's, like, controlling the curse, because the curse immediately domains. Usually it's like a last ditch effort, and like they say, like a trump card, because it uses so much curse energy. But it immediately just domains her and locks her in a coffin and slams her with a boulder, but she breaks out of it somehow. Gojo told Yuji that a curse was a domain was a guaranteed hit. I don't know if that was supposed to be the guaranteed hit or the lead up to the guaranteed hit, but she's about to fight a special grade curse in the domain and hopefully break out of it. But I'm very excited to see where her storyline goes, but that's where it ends. Both her and her little brother are stuck in a special grade domain, like, curse, and that's not good, obviously, but really cool. I love her so much, and they can't not show, like, where she ends there. Yeah, like, we've seen, it's like, oh, can't wait for this fight. Okay, they won. It's like, yeah, it's like, when Gojo and Geto go up against, like, the star curse group or whatever that thing was from last season, like, yeah, and we flash back to the episode and they both have already won easily. It's like, yeah, we don't need to see that. We need to see Mei Mei versus special grade curse. But anyways, we're gonna move on to Megumi and Yuji, and they break the domain kind of pins or whatever they're called, the veil pins, not domain pins, the veil markers, and the veil keeping sorcerers out, like the middle veil, is lifted. So the big one over all of Shibuya basically is still there, keeping all of the normal people in, and then the one down at the very bottom of the tunnel keeping Gojo in is in. So the big one and the tiniest one. So everything in the middle is accessible now. So they don't know where those last two markers are, or what, were some of them decoys, like what's going on. But suddenly Megumi sees Ino getting thrown off the building unconscious, manages to catch him with Nue, and they decide to split up. Megumi is going to take Ino out of the veil to get some medical attention because he is beaten to a pulp. Obviously, we saw that happen. But hey, he is alive, y'all. He is alive. Someone survived. I'm so happy, especially because California Love edits on TikTok have been taking over my life, and I love Ino so much. He's such a good boy. So I'm so very, very happy that he's alive. And this makes me think, because we're going to go, they split up. Yuji is going to go to the subway station where Gojo is to try and find him, and Megumi is going to exit. I don't know about exit the veil, but I'm sure I don't think Choco's around, but he's going to get him medical attention. I don't know what kind of attention he's going to need. Like, he might just need, like, regular medical attention because Toji doesn't use cursed energy when he fights. He's just that guy. He's just strong. We flash over to Toji on the building, and the grandma is talking like, hey, you know, now we should go kill those curse users since, you know, Gojo's sealed, we can have some fun. And she's like, wait, what? And turns out, I don't know if they said the name of the skinny dude that, you know, seanced into Toji, but it turns out Toji takes over his body. And grandma is confused. She can't believe it happened. And Toji's like, I don't know how it happened either, but my body apparently won against his soul. And grandma is like, that's never happened before. And he's like, oh, so kill all sorcerers? That means you, right? And then he kills her. So Toji is just so him. He is Timothy Dalton. He's Himmy Graham. He's Himmy Garoppolo. Those are all just Jimmy names. That his body is so strong that it takes over someone's soul and it wins that battle. And so I don't know how long this seanced Toji can last in the real world. Like, is he just back for good? I don't know. Is there a time limit for how long this seance lasts? Because it seemed like the grandma finished her incantation and he's good to go. And he does like a flash step, like just teleports over to her basically, and it was like, you're dead. And this reminds me that what I was saying about the opening credits. There's a scene in the opening credits where and next time you watch it, watch for this moment, where Megumi like gets up and there's someone in the foreground and it looks like a long sleeve t-shirt. Like, I've already watched the episode twice and I watched the intro twice, so I was like, I think that's Toji. And you know, I never would, you know, again, I've seen, when you rewatch the credits as the season goes on, you start to pick up things that they obviously, spoilers that they put in the credits, but you don't know that because you haven't seen anything. But as the show goes on, you're like, oh, that's referencing this. And I think Megumi is going to fight his father. And I don't know how that's going to go. I don't know how that's going to go down because I'm sure he's met his son, but I don't know what kind of love he has for him. Enough to, you know, tell Gojo to save him from being sold to the Zenin clan, but that might be more spite towards the Zenin clan than anything. So I think that's going to happen. That's my theory. If I'm right, don't tell me. If I'm wrong, feel free to tell me after it comes out, after the season ends. I'll be like, you know what? There's a theory. I'm totally okay with being wrong. But that's just what I think from a 2-second scene in the opening credits, that I think Megumi is at least going to run into Toji. Maybe they don't fight, but it's an anime, so I'm just going to assume that they fight. Yeah. And then we get to Maki, Nobara, what is her name? Nita, and the Zenin. I don't know the Zenin clan, like the elder. And they're fighting transfigured humans. One is eating a human just whole. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, there are, like, we do tend to forget just how many casualties there are during this whole Shibuya arc. A lot of humans have died. And a lot of humans have been transfigured, which basically means they're dead. Like, they can't be rescued at all. But Maki's getting fed up with the Zenin clan, member, because he's just getting drunk and not really helping as she's trying to kill the transfigured humans. And it seems like Maki's starting to realize that, I know Nobara is up for grade 1 sorcerer, but you know, you know, because she did great against the special grades, the curse paintings, but it seems like Maki's starting to realize this might be above her pay grade a little bit. And so she's like, okay, we heard Ajitsu's phone call cut off. I think he's being attacked. You and Nita go find out what's happening. And then I don't know if she says to herself that, oh, if now the veil is down, they're able to run if they need to. So it seems like she's trying to get her out of the way to be like, okay, get on the outsides of this thing, that if it gets too bad, y'all can run. And meanwhile, Maki's like, we're going to keep going forward, her and the Zenin clan member. I don't know if they're going to fight. I know how Maki feels about the Zenin clan. I know how the Zenin clan feels about Maki. And he's not doing much except for asking for more sake or beer. So, I don't think it's going to end well for one of them. And I don't think they're going to, like, team up, like in Wonder Twin Powers Unite and, you know, become friends at the end of it. So something bad's going to happen there, too. Shigemo. I'm saying that name wrong, I'm sure, but this little freaking twerp, I'm going to refrain from cussing because this is YouTube and I don't want to get demonetized. I make like 10 cents per video, if that. Probably not even that, but I just don't want to cuss in these reviews. But never, this guy is in the Lackey Hall of Fame for, like, you know, bad guys in action movies. They're not the main bad guy, but they're like this little lackey that, like, keeps being annoying, might get a kill here or two, and just, like, is the worst. And there's just the most punchable face. Just the most punchable face you can imagine. It's this guy. The fact that he is going out of his way to kill the weakest, not facing any sorcerers or curse users, just literally just killing, like, the assistants in the suits around the periphery of the veil. And this is where, like, I don't doubt Nobara. Kugisaki, like, proved herself in the last season, just absolutely, she's her. You know, nailing herself, being like, oh, let's play a game of chicken. One of the most badass moments I've seen in any kind of media. The look on her face is demonic and unhinged, and I'm about it. But just, I don't know what this guy's technique is either. He mentions later that his technique saved him. But I don't know what it is, but, like, she just can't land a hit on him. And it's really good, like, writing and direction that we know, like, even from season 1, we're like, oh, this guy sucks. Like, I want to punch him in the face. And then, and then we get more of that as, like, he's, like, just refuses to shut up. And then he goes after Nita instead of fighting Nobara, and he's just, like, dodging Kugisaki over and over again. And then, like, when his sword, which is, like, really creepy, the fact that it can, like, move on its own and jump on its own and stuff, the fact that it can, like, chase her on its own and cuts her ankles, and so she can't run anymore. And then he literally avoids Kugisaki so much just to go and kick her while she's down, and then manages, like, the sword manages to get a hit. And then just, like, all these things happen where just, it's just building and building and building, and you slowly see Nanami walking towards her. And Kugisaki does a great job of kind of, like, stalling for time once she gets dazed with that punch to the chin from the sword, where this guy has no motivation. He's just in it. He's like basically like the Joker. He's just here for fun. Like, he doesn't care about, you know, sealing Gojo or any big cause or curses taking over the world. He doesn't care at all. Like, he's just here to have fun. And, like, he's just does such a good job in again, in the same way that we get attached to, like, our anime characters in such a short time. In such a short time, we get angry at enemies of animes. You're like, oh my god, kill this SOB right now. And I'm trying so hard not to cuss because I want to just call this guy all the names in the world. But Nanami breaking the glass door right as they're and I will say, I think right before this, Kugisaki is slowly regaining her, like, her consciousness, like her wits about her, and I think she could have won the fight because, like, you know, I thought when he was, you know, coming down with the sword, I thought, like, Nanami was gonna step in and block it. She blocks it, and so I know she gets kicked right after that, so it might have been like a tough fight. But Kugisaki's no weakling. She's tough as nails, no pun intended. So I think she could have handled her own right there, but it would have been hard to fight that guy and protect Nita. So maybe Nita would have died, but I think she would have won the fight. But Nanami just comes in, doesn't even waste time with taking off his tie and going into overtime. And I've seen these manga panels because I keep getting spoiled. I've seen these manga panels, and this is where the anime is way better than the manga, because the animation and illustration on Nanami, with how big he is, he's just jacked up. He is so angry, and he just keeps repeating, "What's the number and locations of your allies?" Now, I recently rewatched the Overhaul arc and My Hero Academia, and I realized, I was like, oh, that's the voice actor for Nanami. Like, again, I'm new to anime, and I think I'd watched that season of My Hero a long time ago when it came out, way before Jujutsu Kaisen, and I hadn't revisited it. I was like, oh, that's Nanami's voice actor. That's really cool. This, like, I heard Overhaul for the first time in Nanami, because he is so angry. And that first punch, when, like, Shigemo kicks Nanami, he's like, did I kick a wall? No, I kicked him, and my sword didn't make a thing. And then he just gets punched in the face. Like, it just so good. Every punch he delivers against this little rat is so satisfying, and I couldn't love it more. And he just keeps repeating, "What's the number and locations of your allies?" And then he grabs him by the hair. And I've already seen like 4 thirst trap TikToks for this. Like, oh, it should have been me. Like, get a hold of yourself, TikTok. It's hilarious. Grabs him by the hair, punches him in the stomach, and then like he tries to like call the sword to him, and like Nobara like nails it to the wall. And then when he picks him up by the throat, and then as soon as like he's like, "You're the one that's been killing all the assistants, right?" And he's like, "I'm sorry." And he's choking him out here, and he's maybe choking out with this hand, and then he drops him, and then he just boom, and like he goes like typical anime guy, goes through like 10 walls, and I hope he's dead. Honestly, I just hope he's dead. And oh my gosh, just so good. Felt so good. We got a win, y'all. I know we got Hanami, but we immediately lost Gojo right after that, so we haven't really got a win yet. Yeah, we beat the Grasshopper Curse, and I guess we've gotten a few, but losing Gojo is such a big blow. And Ino got hurt, and like he's okay, but he's out of the fight now. But getting this win just feels so good, especially against this little POS. But that's the end of that fight. Fight is a loose term I use. That's the end of that beating, that whooping, that just shellacking that I love so much. Then we end the episode, and I know we go back to, like, I'm going out of order here, like I finished Mei-Mei's storyline, but we go back to Yuji, who's running through, and he's like, where is everybody? I thought everyone was supposed to be here. And he runs right into Chozo, and Chozo goes, "This is for my brothers," and is about to shoot his blood at him, and that's where we end. And I've seen some things from that manga panel too, and there's one really cool image that I can't wait to see animated, but I won't spoil it for anybody, obviously, because I'm not that guy. But very, very excited, because I watch the little chalk outline preview, and it is Chozo versus Yuji next episode, and I'm so excited. This is already like over 20 minutes, guys, so I can't reflect too hard on this one right now, but Nanami getting that win feels so good. And that's where I was saying, like, maybe we underestimated grade 1s a little bit, because, like, Nobara was really struggling. I think she would have won the fight. I will say that. I think she would have eventually won the fight, but she was obviously struggling with that guy, and Nanami just, like, dog-walked him. Literally dog-walked him. Like, it wasn't a fight. Didn't land a hit on him. Let him try to land a hit on him, and he couldn't. Like, just insane. But yeah, I really like this episode, and I feel like we're just in for just all the action. Just literally all the action, because we got Mei-Mei versus Special Grade Curse, and then possibly versus, Crane Ghetto. And then we've got, what is it? We got Yuji versus Chozo. And then Joe goes out there somewhere along with Mahito. Maki and, you know, older Zenin is there too. Where's Panda and Trenchcoat Guy? Like, there are still a lot of players left to be played. And Toto's supposed to make an entrance. Like, I see him in the opening credits fighting Mahito with Yuji. So he's supposed to make an entrance at some point. So we're ready, y'all. We are ready. And I'm very, very excited. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're still here 25 minutes later, I really appreciate it. Bye-bye.